Okay, I am here in the midst of a beautiful sunrise floating above the air. I guess for multiple reasons. I had seen I like to watch playthroughs where people are playing and they're just kind of chit chatting and talking about what they're doing, but then also oftentimes chit chatting about random things. And I watched somebody's playthrough that was talking about Minecraft and its ability to heal. And I will put a link to that below, since obviously this is what inspired me to have this conversation. And she's talking specifically about Minecraft. And I will say, as a warning, although it's in the title, she does talk about domestic violence. So if those things are uncomfortable for you to listen to, then it may not be something to listen to. But irregardless, I want to put the inspiration down. But she was just talking about how approaching it in the way of being healing, it has changed and affected the way that she even actually plays. So while she's talking specifically about Minecraft, and we are specifically in Minecraft now because that is certainly where I am at these days, it doesn't apply just to Minecraft, right? It applies to any type of gaming. I have a post that I had written when I think it was not long after my son had passed away about the power of gaming. And I have actually written other papers in college about it as well, about the therapeutic power of gaming. Now, as with anything possible, can gaming environments be toxic as a whole and for an individual? 100%, right? We can all bring toxic energy into anything that we're doing and make it not something that's good for us. But today we're really just talking about the benefits of that. And my son was one of those people who, because of his illness his whole life, really didn't. Let's turn this around. We can fly a little bit around here. I want to talk a little bit more about that specifically, but we can fly around so people can see a little bit of a beautiful cherry blossom area of this world. But I'm in creative mode, by the way, which is why I am flying. You are not normally flying in Minecraft, but we'll just do this for a minute while I chit chat. Because of my son's illness, he really was restricted in ways, especially the older that he got, and things started to go a little more downhill. And my brother, one of my brothers who lived literally across the world in Mongolia, had messaged me and asked me if there was, this is back when, I mean, things were just starting to have like kinds of online games. And he had asked me about, was there any kind of online game that he and my son could play, so that, because he wanted to be able to be there and be supportive and be a presence in my son's life. And he's not a gamer. My brother is not a gamer. He did this for my son only. And so I looked around, I found World of Warcraft, and World of Warcraft, I had played as a single player, but I didn't even know it was multiplayer at that time. And I went in and I tried a few things out, and I thought, oh yeah, this looks like this is what they're looking for. And so we all started playing World of Warcraft and played for many, many years. Um, and it was an amazing thing for my son. Not only did he have many, I cannot tell you the late night hours hearing them yelling and laughing and um, just having an amazing time together. And it was such a wonderful thing for them. In fact, when my son passed away, my brother wasn't able to come to the funeral because he was on the other side of the world. And he and I went into World of Warcraft, and we took their characters and placed them on a hill overlooking the water. And it was a funeral that my brother was able to attend, and it was a powerful moment. We were both crying, and it was gaming was a way for my son to connect not just to my brother, but to myself. Him and I played World of Warcraft. There were all kinds of amazing memories I have. He always had way more gold than I did, and he would give me gold, but I had, let's say 10, 15 characters, and he would email or mail, in-game mail, a little bits to each of the characters. So I would have to go into all my characters and get the gold. He would mail me just pretty little flowers. He would set up picnics for my friend Kristen and I who played. And it was just a very powerful, connective experience. When he passed away, I went in to tell his guildmates and his friends, he had passed away. And, it was really sad, but also affirming of this like place that he had made for himself, while by the end, he wasn't able to do a whole lot. He was able to, run and have adventures in the world of gaming. And between that and his beautiful experiences of drawing his world bigger, it made his world larger and more connected than it would have been without. So I think a lot of people experienced this. During the pandemic with finding Animal Crossing. And Animal Crossing was actually the first game that I ever played that wasn't sort of I played a lot of World of Warcraft, a lot of Diablo, a lot of League of Legends, even tanks, but they were much more fighting, healing style, running about style things. So during the pandemic, when everybody was hunting down Switches and Animal Crossing, that was the first time, that I experienced that kind of relaxing gameplay. While I find gaming fun, I certainly wouldn't say that running through a dungeon in World of Warcraft is relaxing. It's just fun. So anyways, this past September, my sister Sarah has been asking me to play Minecraft for years. And I am embarrassed, in all serious, I'm not even joking. I'm embarrassed to admit that I'm not a big fan of this kind of blocky, pixelated, kind of old style look. Look at some of the new games that are out there. That look absolutely stunning graphics. It just didn't appeal to me. And I got on it one time. I think it was on like one of my nephew's little servers, but I think I was doing it handheld on the Switch just to go into it. I didn't understand what it was doing, what it was. And I just never, I did not follow her up on it. And she lives far from me, and I should have done it. And I have apologized. But in September, both of us lost our father in this past year. And I was coming out of a long relationship. And, both of us were feeling a little adrift. And she sent me the game. She just didn't even ask me. She's like, here, I'm sending you this to get Minecraft, and we're going to play. And I came on in that very first night. It was I apologize the very first night, because we went out onto a boat. Now, she'd been playing for years, so she was able just to give me all this high level armor and things. And we got on a boat, and we just started exploring, and it was amazing. We saw beautiful lit up coral reefs. We saw underwater and zombies. We saw amazing like cities that were under the water. I don't know if there's, I thought there was one kind of near here. Obviously, normally you would have to breathe. I'm just in creative mode. But we saw all kinds of dolphins swimming next to us as we were going. We went deep into a cavern and we found an ancient city. It was just such an amazing experience. Actually, I think that's one over there, maybe. I know there's one somewhere near here. No, I don't think that is. But anyways, we had so much fun. And I definitely again apologized that very first night. And we have been playing ever since. And I have to give her credit because she's played in one world and one style. Um she'd never really played like survival Minecraft, where at nighttime the zombies come. I love apocalyptic things, so for me to have this kind of fun, idyllic, sweet, beautiful areas to build, but then at night all of the zombies and skeletons come out is like made for me. I don't know what I was thinking. So but I've tried, I'm a person who dives in deep. I've tried this, I've tried that, and she's tried, every time she's like, okay, we'll start another world. But we wanted to start like a forever world that we could just keep adding to. We did, and we actually lost it. It was an add-on, a mod issue, and update from Minecraft issue, and we lost it. And I had built this house there from a tutorial. I will put tutorials. All of this stuff you're going to see right this minute is from tutorials, but there's amazing tutorials out there, and it can really help you to learn how to build. I learned so much from this, but I did rebuild this because I had built it before. Um, my storage system is epic, and I had to re-put that back together again. I haven't finished decorating here. We've killed one. This is the Better on Minecraft mod pack, and so you have to kill these 5 bosses to get to the ender zone where the dragon, I think, is. I've never gone there. And so we've killed the first of those. Um, this is just a little bedroom area. And yeah, this, and then we're kind of glad that we did, because again, we're building a village here. These are all not from the same person. This is from a different person. This is a little um, weaponsmith. Here's for a farmer. Here's for a stonemason. There'll be a little church. We're just kind of building it all in here. This is my epic greenhouse. Again, a different person's tutorial, but then I've kind of modified it, added on for this whole cooking pack. But I love this greenhouse, and we lost this. Like, I had built this, and then we lost everything, and we're like, well, she was just like, well, we're gonna start over. I'm like, I don't want you to stop playing with me. And she's like, I'm not going to. So we were rebuilding it and sucked my friend Kristen into it. She's like a mining pro. This is all for this another cooking mod that I love, that I had to again reset. But I will say this is better than it was before, before we lost it. And this whole village area is better than when we lost it. We're going to have more room. So we've really gotten to the point where we're like, okay, we're okay with having lost it. Now my sister makes amazing towers, and that's going to go back here and down into this crevice. But this is what I'm talking about, the power of healing. My sister knows, like, when we start a world, we're looking for mountains. We've never gotten in a place where there's these amazing mountains. We want cherry blossoms, and we want it near the ocean. Because I like to build. I had in my other one, I had an amazing lighthouse that I need to rebuild. But And then the last thing that I personally like are lush caves, which this did not have. So the other day I came on, she's like, I made you a lush cave. So I'm going to go down into this well, which is the entrance, which you can do even when you are, um, even when you're not in creative, you can take that straight down, down into here. And so she built me, this was not here, all it was just a regular old cave, all this greenery and hanging. She built this lush cave for me, or transformed, I should say, this cave for me. So then I came in and said, oh my gosh, I love it so much. And I built this, I had a Hobbit hole, again, a different tutorial that taught me other things, but I wanted it to be in here. So I rebuilt the Hobbit hole in here as my like perfect little hidey hole. So I'm showing you this obviously because I just as a visual while talking about the healing power that games can have. And they can also be extremely frustrating, and they can also be extremely time consuming and things, but they're really powerful and they're really connected. This is a window into that over there. Um, we have spent so many nights sneaking through ancient cities, mining for diamonds, just it's just a good place to connect when you need to connect. It can be. Um, so this is kind of showing you like what Minecraft can be and what can look like. I would say that but this is also kind of for my friend who had asked me, like, I'm thinking about getting Minecraft, but what is Minecraft? Like, what is Minecraft, and is to decide if that's something that they would like. They played Animal Crossing, they played Disney Dreamlight Valley. Now, Minecraft on its own is like a sandbox. It's an open world. So you would go into these caverns and you would explore. Now, this one, she made this lush cavern, but there are lush caverns like this out in the world. I don't know if as epic as this because this is handmade with love for me by my sister. But there are some amazing caverns. So I love, one of my favorite things is going into caves, down in the deep depths of caves and searching and finding geodes. I think there's one here. I'm not sure. I found it, but I don't know. I haven't had this long enough to know yet. There's a geode in here. Anyways, you can go inside of a living geode, which is just amazing. So exploration is 100% there. If you like farming and raising animals and things like that, 100% there. Um, if you like questing, you would need to get a mod pack like this. So this is a mod pack that you can get on the marketplace called Better on Bedrock, because this is Bedrock. And you can get similar things for Java, but I'm using Bedrock. I will say for multiplayer, it's just easier when you have well, it's impossible to play Java with, or to play Minecraft with other people on various consoles. So for example, I play on PC, but my sister plays on the Xbox. The only way we can play together, what are you doing in my beautiful world? The only way that we can play together is by playing on Bedrock. Now, Java is amazing and has just tons, endless amounts, it seems like, of, let's see if they're within the fence. I put a fence up to stop them. That is, okay, let me look where, pause while, oh no, I'm over there. Yeah, they're far from me. We'll still get rid of them. We don't want skeletons there. Anyways, Bedrock is going to be the way that most people will access it if you have a Switch, or you have to have a PC to play Java. And so, anyways, my point is, I've lost my point. Anyways, but you can get a mod pack. Again, this one is called Better on. I have several different mods on here, but there is one called Better on. I don't have the thing with me right now, but there is a thing called Better on Bedrock, and it puts in questing and doing different kinds of quests, so that if you like doing quests, you can add that in. It's really quite an open world to figuring out what it is that you, and then building. I love to build. My sister loves to build. Building style, everything is a block. And so if you like building Legos, you're probably like building in Minecraft. But definitely building. There's amazing step-by-step tutorials of making all kinds of things. Um, but obviously this is, not end game. We are just starting, but I've been building for quite a bit. I've done a lot of tutorials. This isn't a tutorial that I've done. I just brought it into this one. But you start to get comfortable, but you don't start here, right, with this beautiful space. So I thought I would also show, I'm going to come into, so this is just a little workroom that I built in the back of the, oh no, that's not good. Oh, I think I took that down to try something. Okay. I built this amazing room. So there it, well, I think it's amazing. Magical room. There is a add-on that's called a mod that's called let me see, resource packs. It is called Phantom Frames add-on. And I quite love this because these frames will just take you to a random place in your world. You're not going to like a whole nother world, or realm. You're being randomly teleported to a new area. So for example, and then when you come back out, it has a picture of the type of biome that you got sent into. So for example, you can see this pine, or not pine, it's spruce forest. And now I did go in here and put a platform because it would drop you into the water, but that's all I've done here. It's nighttime here. I should have brought a bed. We'll go back in. But this has taken me into a forest, and this is the type of world in which you could get plopped into. Now, you won't get plopped in at night. You almost always get plopped in during the day. But when you come into one of these worlds, you don't have anything and you have to get started. And that's a different kind of game at the very beginning. So I thought what I would do, I'm going to go in here and go back. What I'm going to do now, I'm going to plop over here. I'm going to put all of my stuff except for this teleporter because I want to be able to get back without having to run and try to find my way back. Since I'm just doing this to show you, I'm going to get rid of all my stuff except, before I go off creative, I'm going to give myself a bed. Now I'm only going to use it once and then I'll get rid of it and we'll have to find our own bed. But it's possible that one of these worlds is going to send me down in the middle of the night. And that really doesn't happen. You get put down in the daytime, so you have a chance to find a bed or find a village to sleep in on your first day. And so I want it to kind of be a fair representation, but this is completely random. So I'm just going to go in here and we're going to see where we land. And I'm just going to show you what like you would have to do at the beginning stages of Minecraft before you get to where you have this kind of safe space base setup to be able to go from. So that's kind of the second purpose of this video. So again, you would just be loading in from the load screen. Now we could end up in the water, which do I hear water? Where are we? Okay, no, okay. Again, it is starting to get Oh no, the sun's coming up. Good, good, good. Look at how beautiful that is. Now I've used many mod packs and shaders in Java. I always keep the square sun and moon. It just makes me so happy now. And that's something, one of the reasons I would have been like, no, I don't want to play this. It's like all square and pixely. Now I absolutely love it. Look how pretty. This does have a shader pack in it. It's making these like sun rays. I will show you, and look at the birds. That's not vanilla Minecraft. I'll run through it real quick right now, even though I'm going to use some of my daylight. So what I have on this, some of them were free, some of them were paid. This actually needs to move up, but I'll do that later. Better on the Bedrock is a massive, amazing world that lets you do leveling and all kinds of great things. Furniture, my sister likes to have different kind of furniture. Mizuno Craft is what makes it look the colors that it is. This is a help cheat that allows you to cut down trees by just chopping one space, which is wonderful. This is a Crops and Farms add-on. I'm just testing this. I'm not actually that thrilled with that. I don't think I need that, but the thing in this realism. So if you were to want it to look like what I have, you would want Better on Bedrock, and you would want realism. Where did that go? Realism VFX add-on. There's also a full world with this. You can't combine Better on Bedrock and the full world, so you'd have to use this Realism VFX add-on with the Better on Bedrock. The frames that I'm showing used were this, but you wouldn't need that. I do love the dynamic lighting. I also really like the RPG skills. If you want to level up your farming, your mining, your wood chopping, it's another name for it, exploration, this is really great. My friend Kristen and I really love this. So those are the things that I have on my Bedrock, but the main ones for what it looks like is Better on Bedrock, Mizuno Craft, and the Realism VFX add-on. I'll put those down in the description box. Okay, we've used up time. So we are going to climb up. The first thing you want to do is just there's a ram. Okay, but we have nothing. The first thing you want to do is you want to find a tree. It's just the way, and there's a sheep. We need that wool. It's starting to rain. Let's just hit a tree. Oops. Oh, I'm installing creative. Okay, that's not going to help us. Let me pause. I am and was in creative, which lets you not have things attack you. So I can zoom around and show you. Survival is what I recommend, because now the tree's not going to break that easily. That's what gave it away. I'm like, whoa, what's happening here? So you want to chop a tree down. This is a lot harder until you get an axe, even if you have TreeCapitator. I'm one of those that likes to break it all the way because I don't like random floating trees to be left. Now this is, personal preference. That means you have to get all the wood cut, and then eventually now I have it to fast decay, but eventually all of the leaves would fall down. Obviously now I'm gonna have to cut it twice, but now I've said that I'm going to do it. I am stuck doing it, and I have to cut all that twice. This is not great for show content, but it's the reality. What the beginning of Minecraft is a lot of chopping things and digging just to get yourselves. Okay. There we go. Now we have to do it twice. Pick a smaller tree, but this is a beautiful spruce forest. Spruce wood is my favorite wood, and there's a sheep down there that I would like to stick around because we're going to kill him for some wool. Can you play Minecraft without killing the animals? Yes, but I would recommend at least killing 3 to get a bed, because while I have a bed over there, I'm going to try not to use it. You're going to hit E and you're going to go to crafting and just stick your logs in there, and it's going to let you get planks. Then you're going to keep it open and you're going to put those 4 in there, and you're going to get a crafting table, and you're going to want to keep that. When we put a crafting table down, I'm going to put some of this wood here and here and get some sticks, because we're going to need some sticks. And then I'm going to split those sticks. And how you do that's going to depend on your console. That's why I'm not going to tell you how to do it. I'm going to make a pickaxe. I know the recipes, but you can just type in here what you want, and you can pull it up that way. But I've done this so many times. All I do at the beginning, and this you won't see unless you have the same add-ons as I do. All I do is a pickaxe in wood, because you are going to quickly want to get stone. And you also won't have this violent of storms in regular Minecraft. Okay, where'd it go? Okay, there's 1 wool. What we need 3 wool in order to make a bed. That's great leather, but we really want to see if I saw another sheep, I thought. And again, I've been talking, so I will use this 1 bed if it gets nighttime. Because normally what you want to do, there's a great cow, which is great for leather, but I thought I saw other sheep. I'm going to go ahead and sleep because, again, I've been trying to talk and show you things, which has taken up my first day. You can sleep at night, and then you can sleep during if a thunderstorm, because you can get killed in a thunderstorm. All right, so now we're gonna legitimately try to look at the rainbow. Look at that. Now I don't know if that is there's a llama. I don't know if that is part of realism effects or if that's part of vanilla. I'll be honest, I don't know, because I started playing with mods. See, there's some creatures. There's zombies down there. Oops, I see something fluffy over here. Here we go. Let's grab 2 more. I know, I'm so sorry. But you do need 2 to 3. Sometimes you'll get a sheep to drop 2 wool, and then you only have to kill 2. Now, I would say after that, I really do recommend that then you're going to lay your crafting table back down, and you're going to right click on it, and you can just put in bed. So you can go over here and type bed, but if you have this clicked, it will show you up at the top what you can craft with what you have. So then I have a bed, but I'm going to get rid of it. We'll bury it. You're going to make a bed, and I'm going to do it so it takes the stuff that I used, and we will throw over here. I just recommend going where you're near kind of an edge, so you don't just suck it back into you. And then you're going to pick up your crafting table, which is important. So now we have a bed. This is really important. The other thing, and we also have some food, but we can't eat it raw. I don't think you can eat it raw. You know what? We will take one for the team. Can you eat? Yes, I can't imagine it's going to fill you up as well, but you can. But we have a bed, which is important. The second thing that's really important is to upgrade your thing. So find a hill, find a wall, find something that you can dig into. Now, you should be digging with a shovel dirt, but I'm not going to make a wood. So we're just going to come in here and we're going to break. Now, one of the things you can do, and I actually started many times like this, is when you dig yourself in, make a little bit of a wider hole. I am claustrophobic. My sister will just literally bury herself like 1 deep in. I prefer a minimum of there we broke it. Okay, so while we're here, we're going to lay our crafting table down again, and now we have stone. So now if we go over here to weapons, see, we can make stone. I am going to make a stone sword. I'm going to make a stone pickaxe. And I'm going to make a stone axe. The wood just, isn't going to last you long. And truthfully, if you have enough, I would probably just go ahead and make yourself 2 because you're probably going to need them. Now, inventory management is so important. Ignore sort of the goals and stuff because that is because of Better on Bedrock. You will get achievements. I'm digging a hole here. So if you see what I did, let me put this back. So in order to throw things out, it's kind of a pain because they'll just float on the ground and then you'll just suck them back up. If you dig a hole too deep, you can throw things. They might need dirt. I like to keep this stuff. We're going to keep that. This is from another add-on. I should have turned the extra add-ons off. Oops, I'm not set correctly. There we go. We want to go. That keeps you from falling in. Again, this is just, we want to keep that wheat seed. These are from a different add-on. We're not going to keep that. And I'm going to get rid of that wood because we don't need it. But the reason I go too deep like that is if I'm going straight down is then I can cover it back up and I'm not going to suck it back in. Got to always try to remember to grab your crafting table because you are going to need it. So again, I'm just digging myself a 3x3 square. And what this, I'm going to dig it out a little bit on this side too. I did 2. I'm a little bit balanced person. This can give you a place to be safe. So you could take your bed and set your bed down. You can take your crafting table, set your crafting table. If you have enough wood and that spruce tree was big, then I would say you could even make yourself a chest. And give yourself a place to put some things as you're going to be accumulating things. And then if you're doing it this way, I would make yourself a door. You have to make it 3 at a time because now you have a safe place to run into. Now we really need to find some coal. I want to put these other doors in here. I can't really cook this yet, but I'm going to keep it in here just so that I can have a bite if I absolutely need to. Now, we really want to the next thing after you've kind of got yourself set, right? You've got a safe place. I'm going to just kind of knock this back a little bit. I didn't make a shovel because, I don't know, and I didn't need one yet. We have a safe place, but I will be honest, it's going to be really easy for you to lose this safe place. So be careful. Because I know there's water down here, I'm going to come down because sometimes there's rocks down here. Ooh, be careful of I grabbed that other bed, but just ignore that. Oops, and there's a zombie, but we do have a sword. At daytime, if they come out, they can burn up, but they can still attack you. What I'm just looking was to see if there was any exposed stone down here, because sometimes you can get an easy access to some coal. You'll see it in the ground. This is all sand. Okay, so we're gonna, I know. They don't normally glow like this. That's a special high level zombie that's in Better on Bedrock. They don't normally glow. Okay, so I'm going to go back to where we were. So if you do have, there's some exposed rock. Let's go over there. It's just easy. Oh, you know what? Here we've got a ruin. This is nice. A village is perfect. You can, instead of building that house, and I'll show you that at the next day, I'll show you that. But when you find one of these ruins, and they're going to look different if you don't have the same coloration packs that I do, there's always a chest. So sometimes you can find food. Sometimes you can find some armor. That's gold. Flint is okay, but I wouldn't waste your precious bag space until you really have a central area. Flint and steel is nice. I'm just going to take one. And the clock is amazing to find at the beginning because I cannot read. I'm going to put this other bed in there because we fair and square it. um, it's hard to tell what time it is. And I'm always getting caught out where you can hold it in your hand and see how the sun is up there. It will start to go down when night is coming, and I know to make a run for it. So that's a great find. I'm also going to put those boots on. They're gold boots. They won't last super long, but look at our health. Like we need to find food. Okay, so I am going to kill a few more sheep and some deer because we can get a backpack. You will not have deer in vanilla Minecraft, um, but you will have cows and you have sheep and you have chickens. So now, if you find like some cut down trees, you might find some apples. This type of tree won't give us apples, so we're kind of stuck there. There's our house over there. We're gonna go mine in the evening, but I'm gonna go over here because we've got some exposed rock. And there we go. See that right over here? That is coal. And that is gonna let us make torches so we can see at night and while mining. And it's gonna let us cook our food. Coal is, so our first priority, cut wood. Second priority is kill 3 sheep. Sorry. There is a way to do it, but it is more difficult. I think you would have to kill a bunch of spiders or find a mine shaft, which would be very dangerous when you have no weapons or anything, and you would have to collect string to turn into wool. But for a beginner, you're just not going to be able to do that. But I will show you one other option if you're like dead set against killing 3 sheep, Minecraft sheep. And look, everybody play the way they want to play. No, I'm not going to say anything. Pigs you can also get meat off of. So now it's getting nighttime, and you can look at my clock and see the sun starting to shimmer over there. I'm not messing with these because these are not vanilla. So I'm just going to stick them over here for the moment. So we still have stone. So what we're going to do once we have stone and coal, although you can do it with wood. I always forget that because I didn't know that for the longest time. So you can make a furnace with your stone. Now I have a little bit of coal, but you can put in some wood. It doesn't last as long. And I don't know if it would even cook both of those pieces. I've not really used wood a lot, but you can in a pinch. If you can't find coal, you can, and you need that to cook that food, you can put wood in there. See how quick that was? It got me 1 piece for 1 piece of wood. Now, if I put in coal, I should be able to do that as well as these. I'm not, again, sure on the ratio. But the other thing that we want are some torches. So I'm going to make, with that coal and some sticks, I like actually a lot of torches, but I don't want to totally drain my coal right this minute. Again, I don't need that wool anymore because I have a bed. I'm keeping that coal. Even this gold, like you start to, if you're going to run, which is what I'm going to show you next, you are going to really get to the point where you have to start choosing what you're going to pick. Golden apples will give you extra health. You want to keep wheat seeds for when we stop, we can plant something. So that's important for that part of it. Dirt's just nice if you need to jump onto something. Here we've got that piece of meat. Let's go ahead and cook those while we're at it. And now you can see that the moon is up, so we can go ahead and sleep. Now, if you really like the area you're in, which I think this is beautiful, if this was me, I probably would stay here because we've got birch trees. There's not owls in vanilla Minecraft, sorry. There's a witch over there, which we do not want to tangle with. But this is beautiful. We have spruce and we have birch. Those are great. I'm sure we won't have to run far to find oak. So, truthfully, I might be inclined. There's water straight ahead. This would be a nice place to build a house. But I do want to show you the other option that you can do. So let's grab this other food. Did it run out? Yes, I only put one piece of coal. So maybe we got 2 out of the piece of coal. So wood's not horrible, but if you only found a little bit of coal, I would use that for your torches, not for, and then I would use wood for this. So we've got a little bit of food here that we can use. You're going to want to pick up your furnace and take it with you. You're going to want to pick up your, I'm going to actually leave this chest. This is not stuff that I need to bring with me. I don't even really need this. You're not going to use this for quite some time, and you will want that space. I like to carry saplings, and I will go cut a birch to get a birch sapling because I like wherever I land to be able to have all of the different types of trees, but you don't have to do that. That's just a me thing. Again, organizing your bags, super important. This is always well, I normally do a shovel. I should have done that first. So let's go ahead and make a shovel. Just so we have all of the basics. So we'll get a shovel, and I always put them in the same order because then you get really used to knowing where to grab them should something attack you. So I'm going to go ahead and pick up my bed. I'm going to go ahead and pick up my there. So now I feel with this pretty confident. Like I've done this a million times. I like to have a furnace. I like to have obviously you need your crafting table. Obviously you want your bed. And I've got a little bit of coal. I've got a little bit of wood. I've got some stone. I've got my tools. I feel pretty confident with this. I will say that when you break your bed, you have broken your spawn point. When you sleep in a bed, it creates a spawn point. So you could collect a bunch of wool and make 2 beds and keep one here on the chance that you get killed. But here's the thing. If you get killed way down the road and you don't have a spawn point onto a bed, you're going to get brought back here anyways. So I'm not going to leave a bed here, but it's very risky because you can 100% get killed and there's nothing to spawn, so it will bring you back here. But that's how I roll. So again, I'm going to kind of look. Oh, we do not really want to tangle with these guys. These explode. See how he starts to blink when he's near you? You can kind of like that, hit and back up. Otherwise, just back up and let them explode if you don't care. But if you're trying to build, you don't necessarily want, I don't need gunpowder to take up my space, but I'm going to climb up here so I can I always say, get up at some height so that, again, you're going to see different flowers and some different animals based on the fact that I have this mod pack. But I always recommend to get some height so that you can kind of see. But I will tell you one of the best things, this is where a creeper has exploded. One of the best ways to find a village, which is very helpful at the beginning. Again, if let's say you don't want to kill a sheep, you are determined you're not going to kill a sheep. I really don't think that you're going to be able to go fight a bunch of spiders. So your other option is to get some wood, like we talked about before. I say things probably going to chase me and kill me, but put your crafting table down, take your wood and make a boat. Fine if you're near water. If you're not, you're going to have to look. Most of the time you can pretty easily find water. And then you can put your boat in the water and you can get into your boat And if you just follow the coastline, I mean, a lot of times you're going to find it's just fun to explore. You may find your perfect spot that you're like, oh my goodness, that spot is so beautiful. I'm going to go there. I wouldn't recommend jungles. This is a swamp, not a jungle. But the jungle trees have vines like this. I don't recommend for your first place to be someplace where the trees are really compacted, because the zombies have a lot more cover and they will show up a lot more when you first wake up. So do give yourself a break. This is a good place because you have oak, which is great to build with. You have birch. You know that there's spruce not that far over that way, and you can see it ahead. Like, this is a really pretty spot. I would be inclined to build here if I was you. You can, again, keep, if you haven't gotten a bed, you're going to have to keep going though. You're going to have to keep going until you find a village, because you're going to need it to get a bed. Um, and then it's a great place to get a bunch of food early on. You can sometimes get coal, but you generally will get a bunch of bread. Now here is a ship, a partial shipwreck. These are great for finding if you can get into it easily. Let me see what time it is. We're still at noon, so we're all right. There are, depending on how much of it's left, there are chests. There's probably only one chest. Oh, look at that. That was nice. Sometimes it will, there. So here we got some food. Again, that's a suspicious one. I'm not going to take that. We got a little bit of coal. We've got a head. This is a leather cap. They will look different depending on what you have. Wheat you can make bread with. Potatoes you can roast. So you'll want to take those, instantly hit E, and put those on. It's going to give you those little, see how I now have a little armor above my heart? I have one armor level. You could take this with you, but again, at the beginning, you're really having, you won't see those in vanilla Minecraft. You're really having to manage your inventory until you find the spot you're going to sit down. So just don't bother taking things that you really don't need at this beginning stage. Now, I don't know if we're going to find, a village anytime soon, but you can, again, this explorer thing you won't see unless you have all the same add-ons as me. There we go. Oh my goodness. Thank you to the Minecraft gods for letting me give you an example. There is a village right here. They all look pretty similar. Each biome landscape will have a little bit different looking, but they generally look pretty similar. Now, I would say pick up your boat, because you never will come back to the exact same spot and then you'll lose it and have to make another one. In this early stage, you want to go ahead and click on all of this and get the wheat. I don't bother with beets. You do you. If you're not eating, bread and potato, really the only ones that I get. Now, then what you're going to do is start checking all of these houses for chests. So here we can collect a bunch of potatoes. We have to cook those before we eat them, but we can also get some bread. You can get apples. Now, here's the thing. Again, spaces of an optimum. Right at the beginning, I keep all these miscellaneous, but I feel pretty good. I can make a bunch of bread there. I can make baked potatoes. I would even probably, if it was just me, and it is right now, I would just get rid of those so it's not taking up, because I'm going to make some bread. I'm going to make some potatoes. But you can take that apple for immediate, and you do want to take emeralds. You need them down the road, and you need quite a lot. Now, here's a little tip. Even though I know it's painful because you don't have a lot of coal, I like to mark just like that when I've already gone into a house. Now you can run back along and collect it when you're done if you're really needing to, or just like take them from the inside. Um, that one doesn't have a chest. So then I mark it so I'm just not endlessly going around. But one of these, there's some wild carrots you can eat. Here's some beds. So if I didn't already have a bed, I would sleep here. What is that coming up out of there? Makes me think there's a witch in here. I'm going to sleep in this one because then if I die, soon after this, it will bring me back here. But I do have a bed, but break this and take the bed. Now you've got a bed without killing any sheep. Again, I know there are some people who really don't want to kill sheep, and I understand they're adorable. The baby animals in Minecraft are the cutest things on the planet, and I am a big fan, but I'm not super concerned about. I don't go out of my way, but I also don't go out of my way to avoid it, to be honest. But you do you. So this is a pretty small village. But you could, if you did eat animals, you could, there's some cows here. This is what you want. If you get into a village, take this. Each one of these are 9 wheats. So that is a bunch of bread that you can make, and I will show you how to do that in a second, because this will conclude the gathering one. I see one more house to go through. We'll look at that. Now again, you can kind of hunker down. Like if you find, like, this is a nice big house right here, you could hunker down, lay your stuff out. There we've got some iron. Oh, if only we had one more piece, then we could build an iron pickaxe, which is the first iron thing you probably want to make. We are going to swap, even though I love in this mod, I love the look of the leather cap. We're going to take that because it's better armor, and we're going to take that. And you can see I now have 4.5 irons, which is going to protect me if I get attacked by a zombie. I'm going to leave in here what I don't want. I really don't want to bother with gold right now. Now I'm going to go ahead and put this down, and you see how I have this. When you put it on the crafting table, that turns into wheat, and wheat turns into bread. So then you can, to make bread, you just put it in a row like this, and click, 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 click. And then you have to have equal parts. So I just keep, I know there's a way to do this on a computer that's easier, like this. If you're on a computer, you can it will spread it out as evenly as it can, but I don't know how to do that on other consoles. I'm not going to keep this random piece of wheat, even though I should, because I don't want to take the spot. Also, from harvesting that wheat, we got these seeds, which once we find our place, we can use to plant our own wheat. I also don't want those planks, so I'm going to leave those. I just kind of use it as a garbage. We are saving that iron. Iron is so important. We're going to go digging for iron, would be our next thing that we'd want to do after we get ourselves shelter. Or you just can hole up somewhere like this. Like you can say, all right, this is a pretty nice little house. I can take all this stuff. That's what I would do, is take all this stuff out. I would put my bed down here. I would put all my other stuff down. And then I would go looking around, for, gathering up some more coal and doing, things that, you've even got that here. You've got lava, which you can, if you get enough iron, make a bucket to put in there. So this would be a nice little house that you could hunker down in. But I do want to just show you how to make as the kind of last thing of this beginning thing. I do want to show you how to make just a beginner place. Okay, I had to pause for a minute. But so you've seen, like, okay, we've done the basics, right? We've got wood, we have coal, which we need, we have our basic tools, which we need, we have food now, we have a bed to sleep in. we've, again, whether you do it like we did over there or you find a village, which is a good plan, is to be able to find a village. You're really usually able to get bread, basic stuff that you need to live, and you do have a place that you can hunker down into. So either, like, then there's carrots here. Carrots you can eat without cooking. Wheat, you have to use your crafting table, but you don't have to cook it. Um, Apples, again, with oak trees, if you cut down more oak trees you can get some more apples. So these are different kinds of carrots. You won't see those. You can eat those, but again, that's part of a mod. um, so you've got your basics, and so I just to finish it off of the real basics of starting a Minecraft, I just wanted to show you, you can also break grass, and you see, not those, but these, it's giving us wheat seeds. So you can just find a bunch of grass and break the grass, and you will get wheat seeds to start planting your own place. Now I'm going to come away from the villagers. I don't generally like to, I don't like villagers coming into the bunch of sheep. If you eat sheep, this is a great place to get. This is like a plains biome. You're not going to see that tower that is part of this mod. But let's just say, we've found, actually, you know what we'll do? Let's go back into the water. Because if this was me, right, if I was going to make a starter base here and get myself centralized, I would go into the water. I don't know what that noise was. I'm going to go back in the direction. I think my granddaughter's knocking on we got the cutest little fairy door. Because there's a cat door down to my apartment, and we got a little adorable fairy door, cat door to close, but she knocks on it and I send her gifts up. But anyways, if this was my world that I was going to put down beginner roots in, and remember, wherever you stay for a little while doesn't mean you have to stay forever. There's a whole entire world to explore. But I do think, finding sort of a base camp is a great place, or is a great thing to do. And so having a good base camp. But this is really pretty here. We've got, I would prefer to be closer maybe to the spruce, but I've got a couple spruce trees. Let's see if I can find us. I don't really love just like pure sand. I thought I saw a cute little, maybe I didn't go far enough, but we're just going to pretend I went far enough. So here we are by the lake, little inlet. This is a great little place. So we're going to say we're going to build here. What I do, because once you have a bed, right, you can hurry up when it starts to get dark. So I just kind of get out of the way of where I might build, put a bed down, put the chest down, or put the crafting table down, make a chest. Again, we could have brought it the other, but I just want to show it doing it this way. And that way you kind of have stuff that you can start building from. Like right now, we don't need any of that. We'll keep out. Actually, I might plant those, but we're gonna cook those. We're not gonna build our farm quite yet. Obviously, that's just mine. You wouldn't have that. I'm gonna just keep the I don't need that really. And that's a random different, well, we're going to get some more oak. We'll keep that little fence. See, now it's getting dark. Sleep in your bed. As soon as it gets dark, sleep in your bed. You don't want to get attacked or call zombies to you. So we do need to eat. See, our hunger bar is low. So I'm going to eat. So we kind of have our bags. Oh, I've got some stairs that we broke. I think must have been from that ship that we found. Actually, we can go ahead and put the boat in. You can put the boat in the water. That's adorable, but I'm just going to put it over here to safety. I'm going to pull these down to the bar so that I can plant them. They need headroom. I'm going to put one right here. I'm going to put one right here because I would like their wood. But right now, use the wood that you have. So this is where I'm going to build. I'm going to go get some wood first, even though our stone axe is getting a little bit. Now, I have a thing. I could have turned that off. TreeCapitator, boy, do I recommend it. But if you want to be super purist, oh my goodness, that was a creeper. I never see them until they destroy my... Oh, there's another one. Let me try to get him without destroying my... Ah, they're so frustrating. They're the worst of Minecraft. Now, let me just say this. You can turn all of the monsters off. When you go to start your world, and I will go in a second, and I will, before we leave, I will show you how to set it up. You can set your world on peaceful, which means you don't get hungry. You don't have any creatures to attack you, and you can really enjoy. There's a great series of watching somebody play that I highly recommend called A Cup of Tea. I will put a link to it down below. She normally plays regular survival, but she did wanted to play it peaceful. If you don't want to worry about being hungry or any of those things, you can set it on peaceful. Nothing will attack you. You can just enjoy your world and build your world. And again, don't let anybody tell you that that's not the right way. These settings are there for a reason. So that if you want to play that way, then play that way. Nobody's going to... should, and don't let somebody tell you how to... Oh, there's... right, we're really close to spruce. I'm going to grab one more spruce tree. So I have two different colors since I don't have a lot of stone. Like this. Don't come at me in the comments for having TreeCapitator. I play the way I like to play. So I am not all about playing purist. Now it's fun to play it, and try it one way before doing other things. But we're just going to build a super simple house. So here we've got some logs, right? These are logs. And we're going to make, let's see, we'll go with oak planks. So we're going to get some planks. Oh, let's also put our furnace down. And if you're by water, you're most likely by sand. So we're just going to get a couple pieces of sand by digging it with our shovel. I mean, think what makes sense, right? If you're going to know what tool to use. If it's a tree, you're going to need an axe, right? If it's anything that's stone related, you're going to need a pickaxe. If it is dirt or sand, you're going to need a shovel. It's pretty basic, right? We're going to take that sand and put it into our furnace with a bit of coal. We'll get out what's left. And that's going to make glass for us so we can have some windows. Okay. It's actually the next day. I got sidetracked here. But back to wrapping this up, I do want to show just the basics of building. Again, there are tons of tutorials out there, but one of the things that I notice is that I'll show you here in a second. So we're just building literally like you need to get, I like to leave 3 here because that leaves you an even spot for a door. So you can do that, or you could do even 7 is nice because then you could, if you did 7, and when you break things, you get them back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's a bigger house, right? That gives you a door, but you really can't make windows without bonking into things, which I don't prefer. So I would say as your first one, just do a little. You just need it big enough for a bed. You need it big enough for a chest. Here we have a zombie coming to see us. They catch on fire if they come out from under the tree. So make them come to you. It'll help you do some of the job. But I mostly just want to show we're just going to do with 1, 2, 3 blocks between, although I would probably, let's go back 5 for the sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So just put your corners, 1, 2, 3, and there you got your corners. And then I would go up 1, 2, 3 at least. Whoa, I did not mean to do that. If you fall, you will take some damage. 1, 2, 3 at least on the top. I personally tend to like 4 because I'm claustrophobic, but we'll just do the basics here. 1, 2, 3. So I should say what I'm doing. I'm climbing up onto the one I've placed, and I'm hopping. So I'm hopping and then placing 1, 2 more. But see, then once you put the, I don't like, and we're just going to have 1, 2, we can't make a nice one. I'm going to do 4. Sorry, folks. Now, here's a good example. Let me see if I have a little bit of dirt, which I do not, but we'll use stone. Have a stack of something that you can use to climb, because then you can put it down next to something and use it kind of like scaffolding. Now, you can make scaffolding, but you know, that is down the road a little bit. We're just trying to show the basics and just, you know, make the height you want the first time around, and you won't have to do this. But I am the queen of rethinking. And we have 1 more, so I'm just placing it. And this is really helpful when you're going to feel awkward at first, but when you fall into things and you need to get up and out, it's good to know how to make yourself a little scaffolding and cut it down. Now we're going to take those same logs, and we're going to connect the, oh, are we out of oak? Okay, that's okay. We're going to go cut down an oak. That's why use a tree that's in your area, because then, why didn't that cut it? Oh, I didn't have enough life left in my axe, so it didn't auto. So this is how you would be cutting a tree down if you don't have, let's go make another axe, if you don't have TreeCapitator. All right, it's okay. You're going to, these stone, until you get iron, these stone tools are going to break relatively quickly. So you just make another, it'll all work out. There we go. Again, do you need TreeCapitator? No. Do we like TreeCapitator? Yes. How many do we get? That might be enough. So we're going to finish connecting all of these things together. Like that. Now we want to, this is, do we want to use, let's use, we don't have a lot of cobblestone. Is there a place to get cobblestone around us? Let's see, because you want to use your resources. We're kind of out in the forest. Yep, with not a whole lot. We should have used spruce around here, but I just want to keep it super simple. This is not for being amazingly aesthetic. So I'm just going to close the whole thing in oak. You may have to go get some more. That's okay. We got it all around us. And we'll do that. Well, I actually want, let's dig out down here. While it's still nice and open, we can dig this out with the shovel. And I'm going to use the planks that I made. And planks are super easy. You just put your log, you can do it right here in this little mini one. And you can, but I'm going to save that in case I want that. And you can make, it will automatically make planks there. And that gives it a different look, and it looks like a floor. And you could do like the whole outside, all of this with planks if you wanted to, but I kind of like the differentiation. You can also, let me show you again, a way to get a different look. is you can take your axe and right click it and it will strip the log. And that's a really pretty look as well. So you could use that, for example, in your walls. So, and we could use birch too, but I'm just going to use one wood in case you're in an oak forest or a birch forest or wherever. Well, I think I might use spruce for the top. We'll see. I'm going to chop down another tree. Now, I would suggest, see how these little trees are falling? These are the saplings. I might be full. We can take those saplings and just plant it right where you chopped a tree down. Especially if you're going to stay somewhere for a while, it's nice to do that so that you kind of keep that natural look and you're not like, unless you're trying to clear the area. So on the sides, oops. Now see how that did that? That's because in order to keep it going in the right direction, you need to have that your cursor on there. We're going to leave room for a window. And I'm going to strip these here in just a second. So we're going to leave room for a window, but I'm going to right click and strip the sides just so, you know, we get a little extra pretty. Now you can make bigger windows if you have the sand for glass, because you will want glass, or if there isn't sand, I'll show, because you don't want things coming in. Either just don't make a window, because this is just a survival house, right? We're not really trying to be super fancy here. We're just trying to get ourselves a safe space to exist in, and at the beginning. All right, we're going to go sleep because it's obviously getting dark and we don't want to get attacked by zombies. Once you have a bed, you're kind of golden, but we still want to have a house so we don't have to worry about it. Let's go ahead and we want to do this. We'll do this and this. And let's cut this out and put a plank in there. There we go. So now we're putting the same thing here, but we need to put something up here, but the whole reason I'm doing this, and actually see how I have these bottom ones running that way. I want to do the same thing for this is just my brain. You do you. So you'll have to point your cursor at the side so that it goes sideways. The only downside to that is, see where you get as a raw blocked edge, which I personally don't love. So for the door frame, I am going to actually leave it this way. That's okay. Again, we're not trying to be super fancy here. So we have our basic space here. What we need now, I'm going to get, do I need any more of these? No. So I'm going to put a bunch of these in here. And I'm going to get some stairs. Oops, now I got a good amount, but let's just get them all. Okay. To make stairs, you can just go in here. It's kind of hard though if you're on a Switch or a console. You can type in stairs, but you can also look up the shape. And a stair looks like this. And so then you can, I don't know how many stairs I'm going to need. So we've got a lot of oak trees around us. I'm going to make a bunch. So we can place stairs a couple ways, and this is what I feel like tutorials don't tell you. So then you're kind of like, what? So you obviously, oops, this is not stair. You can place your stair. See this X in the middle of the screen? That's your pointer. If you point at the ground like this towards the back, it's going to place it the way it's supposed to. If really anywhere on the ground, but a lot of times we're not working on the ground. But let's say we want an upside down stairs, which shows up in a lot of builds, especially in windows and doors. In order to make an upside down door, you can take a block, and sometimes you have to put one down so you can have it and then you can break it. but you want to put your cursor to the upside, and in this case back at the back so that it faces this way. See how when I place that, now it's upside down facing me. So that is something that they do in tutorials, but they don't tell us what they're doing. So for example, a lot of times they say put a door upside down. Now you could just go like that for this case, and now it puts that upside down. I'm actually going to strip this in the front all the way down. It's okay, it's our front. And so now we have this. Now this is a good way. A lot of times people also do it in for windows to make us a window frame almost. Works better with a taller house. I like to be able to see outside. So let's go to our furnace. Remember, we put sand into our furnace and that gives us glass. You can turn this into glass panes, which gives you more bang for your buck, but I kind of like these, so I mostly use the square forms. And now we have some windows so that we can kind of check, are there a bunch of monsters before I go outside? What's going on? So now we have our windows. We'll save these because obviously we're going to build a bigger house eventually. And now we need a door. Again, you can look up door, or a door looks like this shape. It kind of makes sense, right? It's a rectangle. And you can put a door two ways. If you put it facing the building, it's going to put it flush with the building, but it's going to be offset from that stair that we put in. So if you go inside and point to the same block, so your cursor's on that block. Oops, this is what happens. There's lots of redoing when you're building. Now it puts it flush with this wall, the wall we're looking at, but it's also flush with those stairs. So now we have a nice little inset door, which is cute. Now, we don't have iron for lanterns, but let us definitely light up around. Not just, so once you can make torches, and I know they're a precious commodity, but you really do want to kind of spread some, oh no, so this is what happens every time you go to build and a freaking creeper will come and destroy your home. I hit the wrong key, but that happens all the time. What you really want to do is kind of start moving away from your building structure, because the creeper will then follow you and just explode in the ground like this. Which we prefer over exploding our house. Have they exploded my builds? Countless numbers of times. We don't have enough sand. Oh, we gotta finish this. That I don't like. Like I said, I'm kind of a stickler for like cleaning up floating trees. I really don't like floating. Those will fall down eventually. It's called the leaf decay. So you could take, like I would want to finish that hole. So you can use your shovel and just grab, when you break it and run into it, it will go back in. But I try to keep it looking natural, like where I'm taking it from, just so, you know, even if it's a temporary place, I do like my spaces to look nice. Let's grab two more like that and fill the hole in, because otherwise you're going to be falling in it. But when you light up an area, things can't spawn right in that area. Now, that doesn't mean, I'm going to just grab those out because it looks kind of awkward. It does not mean that they can't run in there, especially creepers, but it does help to kind of at least keep your area. We won't put that right in front of the door. It kind of helps to keep your area clean from things spawning in. So if you have the extra torches, then I would kind of give yourself a little buffer zone. We can also build a whole fence around here, which is what I would suggest. But again, we're just trying to do basics. So now we have a building and we have a door and we have windows. Technically, right, we're pretty safe even right now. But let's go ahead and make a very simple roof. You can just take stairs and go all around. If you go, now see what happened there? If you go in that middle, it kind of curves it around, which, oops, see that happens? Because that's, I went down to, or I went up too high. So see, if I put the stair with my pointer up there, it will go. Sometimes you want that. And so if you see them putting it upside down in a tutorial, put your cursor to the top of the block versus the bottom of the block. And again, this is just, there's so many, I'm not a tutorial person. I mean, I've used them, but I noticed that they're like, you know, put upside down stairs here. They'll just show it, but they never show how to do that. So now we have a rim around our house roof, but we don't have a roof, right? So again, use another kind of block. I like to keep sand because it's easiest to break. Moss when I get it, but you can use anything. Just build it up, jump and hit. It takes some practice, but that's okay to get up on the roof. Now again, we're just going simple. We aren't trying to be super fancy here. We probably are going to need some more roofs. We're going to probably need some more. Now, what we could do is a row of planks and then a row of blocks at the end to build this in so it doesn't stick way up height-wise. So let me just show you that. I can either jump down and take the health hits. If I have the food, I can do that. I don't mind it. I do have a lot of bread and I've got potatoes I can bake, which, speaking of, let's go ahead and put our potatoes into the furnace, and then it's going to make us some baked potatoes. And we're going to make some planks. This will take each 3, it will double really our wood. I don't need a bunch though. That's probably too much. That might mean I'm going to, no, we've got some over here. Okay, let's see if that's going to be enough. Again, shut your door behind you. Like, you don't want a creeper to wander in and explode your house. That's very, very frustrating. Has that happened to me? Of course it has. So the reason I like to do the planks next is see how it makes a nice little step up basically. So you can just put planks, you know, and it actually conserves your wood. So, you know, let's conserve our wood. Oops, and we didn't have enough, which is of course always the case. Now, again, I do have some, so I'm going to go down the way I really shouldn't go. And let's grab these before the creepers come out to play. That should be plenty. And go back in and shut our door. Because ignore that little box that keeps popping up. That is an add-on, so we're gonna ignore it. Now, should we have gone and slept? Yes, but you know, we're up here. They can't get us. Let's finish putting that. Now we just want to finish the roof out. So let's just get this. Now we can do this, see? So then that puts it, so what I'm doing here is here's our planks. I'm putting the cursor on that plank so that it goes halfway up. So then we have a nice little match. And what you can do to make, if you're again just wanting to make it a little bit cuter, and I would probably need more planks, but you can run planks, we'll grab one more, and run it down the middle. And now you have at least a somewhat cute, you could even run it down here and run across it for a nice little, but this is really not necessary. You've got a house and a roof, which is all you're looking for. Now we're gonna jump down and sleep. Oops, I jumped and slept. But that over there, that's from that portrait add-on that we're using. He comes out at night so you can buy. Oh, see, watch, where are you going? And I'm just punching him because I need to get my sword. There we go. All right, now we need to eat because something else is probably going to come running out and get us. You have to have your food. See how they have food bars down there? It looks like little turkey legs. Those need to be filled up in order for your hearts to regain. So we might have to fill up again in a minute, but we can't until some of that hunger comes again. So, okay, we need another axe. So let's grab an axe. Again. Oh, yep, stone. We're going to definitely have to boost our supplies, but we're getting ourselves set for that. So we are making a home base so that we can do that. We're going to take our bed. We're going to take that. We're going to use our pickaxe because this is stone, and take that, which is also going to give us the potatoes that were cooked. Now, let me go inside here first and get rid of some of this because we only have so much space. Now that you could make a little cute chimney, but this house is too little for us to get too schmancy, right? We're just making ourselves a little safety zone. So we're going to pull, oops, we're going to pull, oh my goodness, we are going to pull the bed down. Now beds are 2 blocks, so I can't put it here because it can't go out. So I have to put it on the cursor on that block so it can go out. Now let's see what space we have here. We're going to just use our space wisely. Let's put our let's put that, and actually what we can do, let's do that. We're going to put our crafting table here, and then we're going to put our furnace. You can put your furnace over here. I don't like getting it too close to the door because you keep hopping on it, and it makes me feel claustrophobic. This whole thing makes me feel claustrophobic. But again, we're just trying to get set because I want to make another box. Oops. So even though this is stacked, you can point to your crafting table and use it. So I want a double box over here so I have some extra room. Okay, so we have one box. That's going to bug me. I, again, whoops, am claustrophobic in real life, and sometimes there are aspects. Oh, I use the shovel. I'm like, why is that taking so? Now you can break into the wall and like put it into the wall. It's not going to make it as pretty per se. So let me show you. You could break that out and put your that there and put your furnace. Oops. You have to hit shift and then you can set it down and then it's in the wall. And so if you're in a tiny space like this, that may be worthwhile to do so. And then what you could do if you want to make it make sense, now we're just playing here, right, is break all the way up here. And we'll go out there and I'll show you in a second. Let me finish what I'm doing. We'll go over. I should have put some stuff. Yeah, we're not going to be able to fit everything in there. So let's go in here. We're going to keep that out and use it. This again is stuff that it's because of an add-on I have. So ignore that. We're going to leave this here. Oops, we're going to leave this here because I do want to show you that real quick. I'm going to show you how to I did show you how to throw things out. I'm just going to stick that. There's our baked potatoes. We can now eat those. I'm going to put, we'll keep the dirt out. We got some more. This is oak. We'll save those in case we want them at a later date. We planted a few. We'll plant a tree farm, but that's kind of another, that's not really for now. Again, this is from another add-on. We can eat that, but I don't want to take up space in my, oh, here we got a bunch of these. So we'll put those away. I like to have, this is literally how I always organize it. I always do sword, pickaxe, this, always in the same way I know where it is. I have the torches at the end, food here. That gives me some interchangeable. I always have a stack of planks and some sticks. You never know. And usually I would keep this here as well in case I need some quick torches. We're not going to use these for right now, although I could show you some things. So let's just, right now we're not using the door, but we're going to save them because we'll have other builds. There's a fence post. We could do, you know, a fence around the house. That's one of the things I would do next, but we're not going to like go there yet. So let's just break this and everything's going to come falling out. So we can just grab it. Don't come in our house sheep. And I'm going to move the chest down. It's got to be on this bar to use it. Now when you put it next to each other, it makes a double chest. So I'm going to save the golden apples. We can save those for horses down the road. Again, extra stuff. Now we do actually have, I accidentally must have made a pressure plate. You can put that here. And what happens is when you walk on it, it opens the door and then it closes behind you. When you run in and go over it, it will shut the door behind you. This is actually kind of a pain when you're in close proximities because you might step on it constantly. But it is a nice little cheaply wood cost to making it. And then you don't have to kind of open and close the door on both sides. So that's a nice little thing. But let's finish this hole we made here. Now I'm not going to do a full, we got to oops, out of the way. Oops, now I used my, this must be leaves on top of my head. I want to get up here. There we go. So now what we could, we have to stealth or crouch, whatever that is for yours. And I'm going to, because otherwise we'll just open the menu of the furnace. And then we can kind of just go up one. Now, if we had charcoal or some other resources, we could make a campfire. I don't want to use my coal necessarily for that and can make an actual, like have it kind of burning up there. But that's, a lesson for a bigger tutorial. This is just, so let's go run over here. And look, we just have, it's nothing fancy. It's just a basic house, but it's a safe house. Let's sleep. I'm going to show you two more quick things that, in my opinion, means, all right, you've got yourself, whoops, I did not mean to do that. Let's go ahead and clear our bags up. Boat, I generally leave because I'm usually exploring, unless this is my forever place, but I generally do keep that. We're looking for some more iron. I'm gonna do something cheaty with that. Not cheaty, but it's probably not a good use of iron at the beginning of things. In fact, I know that it's not, but actually we're gonna keep this. We're getting very low on stone, and this is gonna go down. So we're gonna address a couple issues that would be, for me, say, all right, we're getting ourselves pretty set up. Let me actually go here and make a hoe. I don't think we need a a stone one because, we're not going to be making that much of a garden. Let's go ahead and eat. Again, be careful when you come out. There could be, zombies lingering. So I'm just going to clear a little area. We're not trying to be fancy here. Oh, mother, you know what? I hate creepers. This is why you would make a fence so they can't get this close. So maybe I'll show that before we wrap up this like beginner series. Not series, but I'm not going to have enough dirt, but let's at least, you know what? It gives us a bigger space. Thank you, creeper, for our garden. So we'll just widen it a little bit there. Hello, baby deer. You're so cute. You won't see deer in vanilla Minecraft, just so you know. That's a... Now I'm going to have to do some stealing of a couple things of sand or dirt, just so I can kind of fill that. Okay, we have to be by water. We don't have a bucket nor the iron to make a bucket, so we want to dig out some land with our hoe, and we're using our hoe here to dig out some land for growing wheat so we can keep making bread. So we're going to go ahead and take those seeds that we made. If you don't have seeds, break a bunch of grass and you will get some seeds. I never remember how far water will go, we'll replace that. I don't know that I can go back there. Well, let's, you know what, we'll test it. I'm going to make one. Oh, that's wet. See how that's darker? I don't know. I'm going to go like this. Yeah, it looks like it might be reaching it. I feel like it's farther than I think it is. So we're just going to, excuse me, I'm going to bonk you. Just so you'll, there we go. We'll keep an eye on that and see. Well, we've got enough seed. I don't want to hurt you, little guy, but I'm trying to make a garden here. Okay, we'll just call that good for now. Like that one popped up. That one may not stay. We'll watch that. There's a spider. Spiders are great if you need string so that you could get wool, but you would need a lot of it, I would assume, to be able to get wool to make your bed without killing sheep. But now we've got a little garden started. And again, I'm going to pop a torch here and a torch. You know, just get an extra couple. You don't want to go too much because we've got to go a little bit of mining. Okay, so we found a nice little location. We have a little cute house. Now I'm going to show you something that, you know, because again, I'm doing this for a friend who I know likes kind of Animal Crossing and cute aesthetics, and it is fun. You can use 2 iron to make shears. Should you do that at this point in the game? No, probably not. But I'm going to come over here with the shears and cut a few of these birch leaves. Oh, that's a very strange. That when it generated in, that got chopped. Weird. Okay, so then what it does is give you these leaf blocks. And this is a nice little way. Again, you know, yes, it's a beginner house, but we might want it to be a little bit cute. And we could even, oops, stick a pile like that, like almost like there's a little bush over there, which would hide that being in the wall. We might put a couple over here. And it just gives it a, you know, a little bit of a cuteness factor, because we're all about a little cuteness factor here. Now, again, if you want to go the next step, you can take, so let's take some random, that's oak, that's spruce. There's some more oak. We gotta save that. We'll take our one fence here. And we're going to turn all this kind of random stuff into, oops, into planks. And we may need some more sticks. Let's see what we can get out of this. So we can make oak fence here, like that's what the recipe looks like. Let's see, how many can, because we can cut some more trees down. Whoops, just random placed. And you know, your stuff's probably going to be coming from behind. We could use this tree here. Oops. And what you could do, again, depending on how much, you know, you need to conserve wood, you could also, let me cut back. Oh my goodness, using the right tools is sometimes really complicated. All right, we can also use the side of the house, right? Oh, it's a great tutorial on what really happens where you do a whole lot of pulling things up. So we could use the side of the house. Now I technically would, if it was me, I would probably use some dirt and reclaim, oh my goodness. I'm just going to be me. Look, let's be honest about who I am. Do we have wood in here? Or some a little more dirt? That's not going to be enough. Let's keep the seeds, although we'll get more when we harvest. Let's go over here. because I'm just going to be realistic. Look, even at a starter level house, I do have certain things that I like. I'm going to put these back somewhere else. Don't worry. I'm going to put this like this because, oops, not quite enough. Let's cut this so it looks not like a big square blob. There we go. And that grass, this dirt will grow back grass. Let's just do that for right now. I'll fix that in a second. So now I'm going to take this out here. We're going to have to get some more fencing. And I would probably go like this. Where's the door? There. We're going to definitely need some more fence. We could go super close, but we'll go out one. Nope, we're going to need just a little bit more. So let's cut this one that's right close to us. Grab all that. Go back in, and we're going to grab two things. We're going to grab a couple things. So let's grab all this. Now, this truthfully, we should make this farther if we really don't want creepers getting close. But I'm just showing you some little extras. Let's get some more of these. Let's get some more sticks. Let's get one gate and a few more fences. And we could also, there's something, let's grab these extra stairs that we had. Looks like it's getting dark out. I don't think we can sleep yet though, so let's try to finish this. We're going to put the gate there. Can you like move out? I don't want to kill you. I just want you to go out. There we go. There. Now we have a nice fenced in area, but because this, we could either put some more grass, but you know, we've got these extra fence or steps so we can step in. Now look at that. I would probably put some, again, I probably should not waste this, but I can always go, oh, there's a water creature throwing stuff at us. Let's get into the safety of our house. We're going to die. No! Look at, we have one heart. Oops, I can't rest. There's monsters nearby. So let's hurry up and eat. So, he can't get us. They can't open the door. Look at it. He's out there, which is not going to let us sleep. Oops, let's not open the door for him. So what we can do is so we should have put the gate, that shows us we should put the fence out further. I don't have enough health or I'd run out and kill him. So we're going to wait a little bit. Get our health back up. We can't sleep. Let's clean up our bags a little bit. We might say, you know what? That is a good lesson to not be stingy. Well, we have lots of trees around us. So let's go ahead and make ourselves some more fencing. I like to save my saplings, although because eventually, but you're always going to, as you cut one down, you're going to get more, but I'm just a sapling saver. I'm going to save those in case I want to decorate with them. Again, you wouldn't be having those. I'm just clearing out my storage. We're again quite low. Can we go to sleep now? Nope, he's just sitting out there. And we definitely don't have enough health yet. We do need to put a torch in here. Once we be able to make a lantern, we could put a lantern in here, but right now we can't do that. All right, do I have enough? I'm going to risk it. Okay. He hits hard. I should not be doing this. Just run at it. If you're going to go in and try to kill it, just keep running at it and aggressively wallop it. You should have, in that situation, you should have waited until your health was all the way up, but I am too impatient for that. And my bed's right here, so, you know, worst case, I would be right here inside. All right, we've got more zombie flesh. I kind of will save a pile and then I'll get rid of it because I'm just too lazy to keep digging a hole to stick it in. You can make yourself like a garbage hole, which is nice, but this is a little tight for that. All right, we're just about done. What is the one other, well, we're going to learn our lesson, right? And we're going to chop this down. And we're going to chop this down. And truthfully, we should, you know, go probably out even further, but for the sake of this, we're just going to widen this a bit. So they can't like be looking in our windows. One tip, don't put anything right next to the block because then things can jump on it and get in, which of course you don't want. Let's check on our wheat. And we should, you know, again, food is better than aesthetics. But look at, now we have this cute little house. If we want to put some more seeds down, oops, we got a hoe. We might be able to go back here and, you know, fill that out a little bit more. And once these come all the way up and they're full, you can harvest those and get wheat and keep making yourself bread and continue on. Now, I'm just going to show you one more thing. We aren't around like a cliff edge. It's super easy to dig into. So let's just show you how you can dig yourself a mine. You can kind of go in the back maybe. It's kind of iffy next to water. So I dug out dirt, but now we have stone. Oops. So we're going to break that. And what you do is you break, let me do this one and then I'll show you what I'm doing here. You're making like steps for yourself down. So you're standing on one and you dig, dig, dig. Then you can jump down. This is dirt. So I'm going to, oops, dig, dig, dig. And then you can jump down and you can dig, dig, dig. Jump down, dig, and you can dig, dig. And I generally am going to do this at the get-go. You are really looking, I think, and I could be wrong, so don't quote me. I think at around level 15 is the best place to find, oops, I did that wrong, but that's okay. Every so often, you're going to need to put a torch up, which is kind of, again, you might have to move them around, but that is because you need to be able to see. So, you know, you may have to go steal some of the torches you put down. You're not going to see this ore. We're looking for coal. So I might, you know, do this for a while going down. Again, to whatever level I want to try. We're getting stone so we can make, oh, and there's water. That's the danger of being by water. So let's try to go this way now. And just dig out. And And there's a couple ways to mine. We're not going to do a mining thing, but you could do like a 4 square and just start digging and hoping that you hit into coal or iron. We're not at the level. So I would probably, if it was me, whoops. And what you could do is make yourself a little area. Do we have any wood on us? Yes. So we can make a crafting table and just plop that down here as sort of a place to, rebuild anything that you need, which is basically going to be a stone axe. And now we're miners, right? Now we're miners and we have to, but you can get on and Google. I think it's 15. So then you would try to keep going down. Now remember, we hit water here, but that doesn't mean we can't turn around, right? And start digging down, going in this direction, because we know that's going away from the water. So we could keep going down. Google, again, I think it's like level 15. If you have positions on that, oh, look there's a cave down here. Now we do want to be careful. Oops. This is not what this video is about. Because down here is darkness and probably creatures, but we want to carefully get down. I'm trying to make myself steps down so we can check it out without being attacked. So let's try to crouch maybe. And again, we're trying to build stairs. Oh, this is interesting. So this goes up to the surface. This may not yield us anything. But we can go down a little further. I like to, this is the way out. So I might break that one and stick it near the way out so I can get back. Again, we are low on coal. We would like to find coal pretty quickly. Or go back and again, your granite and things are going to look different than mine. That's the Mizuno Craft. So we're just being careful because I also have a light so that you can hold it. I just would like to, there's some coal up here. But we're being careful though because there's likelihood of zombie. Okay, that's water, so that's good. So we're going to pop that there. And now we have found some coal. We hope that it goes, there's some iron up there too. So we're going to take it's a pretty small one, but at least it's something. So we want to dig, see how I can dig one and then that makes a step. So I'm just stepping my way up, but watching what I'm doing. That is iron. Oh, in Minecraft, regular Minecraft, you can get it. I need a copper one for this. So I'm actually not going to take that piece of iron, but you would. This on Bedrock has copper as an in-between state. So I'm going to leave that alone because I can come back for it. But we got a little bit of coal here. Now we could keep going down. There's some no, it's not copper. See how we have a waterfall here? Now you can get lost in mines, or in cavern. But I could take this and kind of ride it down and see what else we can find. But it is really easy to get lost down here. There's a bunch of iron there, but in this one, I would need copper first. And I don't see copper, but you would be able to mine that. So finding a little shaft like this, and there's more iron there. So then you would want to gather that up because then you can make an iron pickaxe and so we can follow the water up. I'm just hitting whatever your button is to jump and we can follow this back up. keep going up. See all that lovely iron that I can't get? And we're going to follow the water up. This takes practice. I'm not going to pretend it doesn't. My friend who's now playing is learning how to try to jump. And it's not follow the water up, and it's not as easy as it looks. All right, I'm just trying to get myself back up here. Right, so you would have some iron. Just try to be careful. If you get lost, you're just going to dig your way to the surface. But I really, at the beginning, you want to have enough torches to give yourself a path back up. All right, so now we can go up here, and we could make some more sticks. And now we've got the ability to make more torches and to go in there and do some more mining. So now you can come up, right, back up to the top here. Oops, I didn't quite do that right, but we'll fix it. And now you have a mine. You can close this up with trapdoors so that you can, keep it closed up. But that's going to take you down, or build like a little shed around it, so to speak. But for now, you've got access to going down, how did you get in here? And there's a zombie. He's not going to be able to get at us. This is a great thing for zombies because now he's on the other side of the fence. He'll keep coming at you, and you can just pick away at him with a little more safety. Now, this won't help you for skeletons that can shoot at you, but you can get zombies away, and now we can sleep. And I would say we will leave it there. Sort of, we have achieved the basics of security. We have food that is growing. We could hunt. Again, if you are not opposed to Minecraft animal hunting, which I am not, but with deer or cows, you get leather or deer hide. Eventually, you can make things out of that is going to be helpful, like books, backpacks in this particular world, and then you can take that meat. I left all the no, I didn't. I brought some up. We should go back and get that coal. But we can also have really high healing food from it too. So you do get, a nice amount from it. But you can just do potatoes and wheat. You do you. But I feel like we've made a nice little start. Now I personally feel pretty secure. Now the last thing I would do if I were you is, if you notice, and you may not be able to see because the screen's kind of cut, but at the top left corner of my screen, I have it set that I can see coordinates. That is a setting you can put on. And if you get into your settings, I think it would be under game settings. Yes, you can turn on show coordinates. And so that is very helpful to do. So then you can see your coordinates. And what I do is get where you can kind of see your house-ish and take a picture with your phone of those coordinates so that if you get lost, you can find your way back home. But you've got yourself set now. So obviously what we've just seen is sort of the very beginning, and every time you start a new world, it starts in the same place, right? We all start punching the trees and working our way. I'm gonna use this to go home. Obviously, again, this is not vanilla, but we're back in my villa with my storage system. But this didn't start this way, right? We started out, I'm going to put it in /game mode creative, which lets you fly. Now this is where we're at. We started at the very beginning running to try to find a spot. My sister literally ran. We're at minus 27,000. We started at like 23, I think. So she ran and ran and ran and ran and ran and ran to find this beautiful, perfect location. And then, we had to slowly build, slowly build, slowly build. So it comes need to probably make more, maybe one more of those. This is a cute win. This is going to be for a farmer. We're building a village that will get villagers in here eventually. But again, this is a tutorial. These are all tutorials that I liked and I wanted to pull in. So this is a tutorial. I will put a link to the one creator that did all of these. This one, that's the farmer. This right here is a stonemason. Absolutely adorable. And then this one, she made all of these. This is amazing weaponsmith house. That's so cute. But you start and doing these tutorials. I know you're like, oh, be creative, do your own. That is great. I haven't actually been playing Minecraft all that long. My sister just builds it out of her head. She's been playing a while. But building through a tutorial really teaches you things. It really teaches you how. Now I could make a roof like this without having to do a tutorial because I've done a few of them. I kind of learned some things about using things to make texture on the sides by putting things up, using a mix of stones, right? There are things that I learned by doing these tutorials. I love this brick roof. I've done this on other things outside of a tutorial because this tutorial taught me how to make a roof like this. So, there's nothing wrong with doing some tutorials. Again, if you're posting it, you should link to those tutorials like I will. That's why they put them up there, is for you to do them. But then you're going to learn. I feel like after having done tutorials, now I can build what I want to build. But I do enjoy following tutorials. Like this whole back part was not part of this greenhouse, but this main part of the greenhouse was a tutorial, and I will link all of those below. This is actually a relatively easy one to make because it's but you need a ton of sand for glass. But this is a relatively easy build because it's just a framework and then you're filling it all in with glass. I dug this in here and made an axolotl. Again, I'm pulling all my favorite things from different worlds, and I had this in another world. But this isn't hard to make, this particular one. And then there's a whole add-on called Crops and Farms, Crops and Seeds. Let me see. Crops and Farms. I love this add-on. It's a whole kind of cooking thing that I'm just actually learning. It's quite extensive. So I added this room in and different crops and things so that I can start making some of the recipes that you can. Let's see if I can get to where. Oh, I'm in creative. That's throwing it off. But yeah, this is a whole, other big mod that I'm kind of learning. But building this greenhouse isn't actually that hard of a tutorial. It's a great one to start with. And you can pop your bed down here, have a built-in farm, maybe make this part your living quarter. And this, again, you have to collect a lot of sand. So you'd need to be by a beach and a bunch of wood. Like, it's really not a hard one to achieve. You may not be able to put in all of these lanterns until you have a bunch of iron, but we have a bit of a co-op going here where my sister and my friend, she likes to mine, so she goes down in the mines and stocks us up on iron and all kinds of stuff. And I generally have a tree farm going where I'm stocking us up on wood, and then we've got a lot to pull from when we make things. But yeah, anyways, I think that is more than what my friend was looking for. But I hope whoever sees this, I love this little well. Super simple way to have easy access to water. Anyways, I hope you've enjoyed this. It's very relaxing to play. Now, can it be, stressful when you're getting killed by zombies? Sure. But remember, you can set it to peaceful if you don't want to have to deal with that. So I'm going to actually do one more thing. I'm going to save and quit. And then I'm going to go over here, not into my realms, and I'm going to create a new world. here's that, because I purchased Better on Bedrock, I can make another world using, but I'm just going to create a vanilla world, which means there's nothing on here. Vanilla world. Now, you can put it in creative. I would not recommend that. I really do recommend that you put it in survival and put it on easy. This just means you're not going to get attacked as badly, but you still have hunger. You still have zombies and things of that nature. Peaceful, there will be no hostile mobs. You won't have health issues at all either. So if you really want to play Animal Crossing style, and again, I will put a link in the description to a cup of tea, which shows sort of a peaceful, just exploring and building. That is how, if you just want to explore the world without being attacked, and you want to just build in peace, it is I have a world like this, and it is a lovely space. But I will say, I kind of prefer having hunger. Otherwise, there's no reason to farm. Once you have a bed, it's pretty easy to manage. So, you could either start here or just play it here for a little while. When you really want to work on building, you can switch it to peaceful in the mod, or within the game, so that you can go build in peace. So you can switch it to creative. Like, don't let anybody tell you how to play. But I think we should all experience Minecraft in one way. But again, maybe you're going to set it to peaceful, get yourself set up with a base camp, and then you're going to switch it to easy. Do you? Don't worry about what other people are doing. Now, there's a whole bunch of other things. I would just say put on show coordinates. Again, it just kind of helps you find your way if you get lost. You can turn on cheats if you don't mind cheats. You won't get advancements when you won't get achievements. What if that doesn't matter to you, you could turn cheats on and choose keep inventory. This means that when you die, you don't lose all your stuff. Now, some people love it. I played a ton of dying and dying and dying and losing my stuff. You can get mods where you get a corpse that saves your stuff. There's all kinds of stuff you can do. If you just don't want to go hunt down all of your stuff, you can turn that on. And I have definitely, my sister and I in our main world have decided we've done a lot of running for things, and we're not really interested in it right now in this world. So we have that one cheat on. You don't have to, though. You can, again, if you want to see the achievements and you want to, then don't do anything over here. Resource packs are the things that you purchased, or some of them are free. Like, I didn't purchase all of these, but I did purchase a lot of them. This is where you could turn on Better on Bedrock, although you would want to build the world that way. And so that's going to look like, I'm going to leave without saving. So when I go to create, if you've purchased in the marketplace Better on Bedrock, which this is what I recommend if you like questing. If you like to quest, then I can't see what it is, but I want to say maybe it was $6.99, something around that. At most 10, but I don't think it was 10, but I have no clue. This is what you want if you want some of that questing. You don't want to just explore and just build, but you want to quest, which I like to do. I would recommend creating a new world in Better on Bedrock. You can still do those things, and we have to unlock it, but I have no problem with that. I would set it to easy. I would Now, this does have something that holds your, when you die, it holds your stuff where you can go back and just get it. It's not scattered everywhere. Um, so would I purchase that again? Yes, because I do like questing. You may not. I would add the other ones that I would say are well worth paying for would be this TreeCapitator. Look, play it your way. I don't want to climb up to do that. So I love the TreeCapitator. Well worth it. I'm talking basic, so I'm not going to put everything that I love. I've tried a lot of packs that change the look. This one I love. I love the coloration that it puts into the world. It changes the villagers to little animals like Animal Crossing. If you don't like that, my sister wasn't a huge fan of it, but we liked the look of the world enough to make it. But if you like Animal Crossing, pay for it. This was probably like $3 is my guess. I don't know that. I can't see it on Marketplace because I already purchased it. But I would purchase Better on Bedrock. I would purchase Mizuno Craft. I would 100% for myself purchase TreeCapitator. Is that all the ones that I would say are like, I would also, again, if you're doing Better on Bedrock, I would purchase this. I love, and my friend Kristen as well, love this RPG skills. Now you could just do a normal world and put RPG skills on. This levels up your basic skills such as farming, mining, and you get little bonuses for it. So if you were not going to do Better on Bedrock, which has a lot of things and in some ways makes things harder, then I would do these three. You would start a regular world and you would add in Mizuno Craft, RPG skills, and TreeCapitator. And this gives you some leveling up, gives you a reason to go out there and mine and you get bonuses the higher you get. I love this little add-on. And so if you don't need it to be super hard, because it does make it harder, then I would add in. Eventually I would say the storage, but I'm a storage freak. I also really love this realism effects. It just makes it prettier. Um, I also love this dynamic light add-on. It just lets you hold torches and be able to see and eventually put a torch on a helmet. But again, is that necessary? No. You can get gravestones. You can get warp stones. There's all kinds of stuff you can add on. But if I were, cancel, let me go back. If you want a full-on like RPG experience where you are leveling, you are seeing more kinds of buildings, more kinds of creatures, there's magic wands, this is a great all-in-one amazing world that you could put on. This is for looks. I highly recommend. I've tried tons of them. I highly recommend. This is what I would do if you want the whole sort of, you like Disney Dreamlight Valley as well as Animal Crossing. If you just like Animal Crossing, I would say these three would be great. If you like more questing and exploring and finding these cool buildings and that eventually way down the road fighting some bosses, then this would be worth the money. I guess those would be my suggestions there from the marketplace. Now let me just go one more thing. So let's go back. Yours might look a little different, right, depending on what you're coming on, but there's always a way to get into the marketplace. I will say this is a pain in the butt on the Switch, or it was. Now, maybe it's better now, but I'm on the computer. It's a lot easier. It's very sluggish. I think the marketplace is on the Switch, but you would want to get in. There's tons of stuff. Some of them are great. Some of them are wretched. I have tried lots of them. Some are wonderful. Some are awful, so on and so forth. But you can search and find Better on Bedrock. And again, I already purchased it, so I can't see the price, but this got 4.7 stars with 2,982 people having purchased. It just came to marketplace not that long ago. You can again put in is it Mizuno? I always get this wrong. Mizuno. I can't remember. You have to write it down. But anyways, you can go in here and search, and that's how you're going to get it. Some can be expensive, like this is $7.99 or this many coins. But again, generally, then you're going to want to look and see. Again, I'm not going to get into this. I'm getting really far into stuff. But those are the ones that I would recommend for my friend who I know is coming from my coming from Animal Crossing and Disney Dreamlight Valley. So I hope this has just given you an idea of sort of a little bit further down the road where you see where we're at with this particular world, but then how you start out when you have absolutely nothing and get sort of to a safe base space to start to explore and build from there. So I hope this has been helpful. I hope that it also, though, does highlight how healing it can be, how relaxing it can be, and you can make it as relaxing as you want. Check out the links below. I'll put some different people that I like to watch their plays down below. I'll put a list of the mods that I just have talked about, and any of the tutorials that I showed you. I will put a list to those. So look in the description box for that, and find a way to relax and have fun, because we all need a little fun in our lives.